Aaron.
Thanks Rick, for the preso. So, I mean, everyone has been sitting very comfortable in their seat for a while. Do you guys mind turning your head to the person sitting next to you? There's a fashion over there. Okay, that's a bit awkward. Yeah, right. So I'm trying to be a bit less cliche by getting you guys to stand up, but I guess I get the attention over here. Okay, so for those folks that just came in the room, right? My role is the channel account manager. So I take care of agency. I take care of their welfare. I tell them what's new. I tell them what not to do. And the reason why I had those experiences is because I came from an agency myself. So I worked there for 3 years. And I hopped over to the client side to continue working for a couple of years before I hop on to this stint over here where I sell software. So I do understand to some extent what you guys are facing, what you guys like to do, how you guys collaborate with different divisions. So I'd like to just ask you guys a question. So who is purely just doing marketing work within your company? Raise your hand. So 1% there, 2% over there, purely marketing, right? So who is hybrid, doing a bit of marketing, doing a bit of sales? Right. So who is pure sales guy? Right, great stuff. So my preso, right, is going to, oh, okay, so is there anyone who didn't raise their hand? Who didn't identify the role? No? Those people out there? Get out of here. Okay, so my preso is going to focus on addressing your pain points and what I generally do in your state using Sales Pro, so that you guys can relate to what I do. And this is less of a presentation, to put it simply. It's more like a forum. So do pop me any questions if you guys come across any of them within during my presentation. Preferably when I catch a breather. When I talk, try to listen. Cool. So the first thing that I like to present is the reporting dashboard. Right? Some of you might be familiar with this. So what I like about this dashboard is it gives salespeople or sales manager the top line level view on how your business is doing, how many sales have they closed, how does it stack up against the forecast. So what I like about this is if you can divert your attention to the second chart over here. So when I was still a marketing salesperson in the client side, what I like to help my marketing managers accountable is the context assigned. So marketing person, after you guys have done all the work, right, creating content, attracting all the traffic, right, you want the salespeople to follow up, right? You want the leads to be assigned, right? That's what I like to do. And this is a classic example of leads not being assigned, right? After you've done all the hard work, right? Two contacts are only assigned to the salespeople, right? So this gives you a very clear view on where the leads are. So your sales team or your sales manager can come back to you and say that, hey, the leads that you send is crappy, right? So this is a very nice workflow for you to track each of this. So this gives you a very good segue to collaborate between sales and marketing team. All right. Any questions around this? Cool. And then what I like to highlight over here is deal leaderboard. So some hardcore sales company, I'm not saying about you guys, but some of them like to project this on a real-time screen where they actually highlight their salespeople's sales, their figures, just to motivate each other, right? So this is kind of a cool idea. If I would start with an agency, I would want to project that. A deal stage funnel. So this is where it ties back to the CRM video that you guys watch, the deal stage. So you'll be able to monitor how many days has that lead or deal been stuck in particular stage. Again, this allows marketing personnel to actually question the salespeople, right? Why is this lead not moving? Is there any way we could do better when we attract them to the site? by asking them more qualifying questions, for example, right? And then for sales team, for sales manager and sales rep, you know exactly how your lead flow is progressing. So that will give you a very good idea on what to focus, what not to focus, right? Yes. Okay, yeah, so this is the deal revenue leaderboard that I was talking about. And then we can actually break it down by stages as well and deal types and see how much of revenue is stuck in each stage. So this is the reporting dashboard. Cool. Before I move on to the reporting dashboard, do you guys have any questions? Anyone actually started using the reporting dashboard? Do you have a question? Okay.
Is there any view, and this is something I actually do, but is there a view to see if a lead, if a lead does not close, and usually salespeople put in reasons, you know, is there any way to see that, like text appear somewhere, or is there something I can set up on my dashboard?
Yeah, so once you lost this lead, right, we are able to create like properties for notes. So you can have your salespeople to write down the notes, the reason why the lead is not closed, and then you are able to filter it through the dashboard. So it's possible. Yeah, but you just need to have that internal discipline, right, to get your salespeople. Salespeople like me are lazy, you know, we don't really like lead down notes, so we need to be very disciplined on this, right? Okay, cool.
And how does one see the whole cycle, the sales cycle? Can we see as to how long has it has taken for particularly to close to a customer?
Yeah, so there's a duration to deal stages, right? So you'll be able to track, for example, how many deals are stuck in phase 1 versus phase 2, for example.
Not stuck. Let's say deal A, let's say I contacted this particular guy in January, and it has taken me maybe 4 months, 3 months. How much time have I spent on that to actually make him a customer?
Right. The sales cycle duration.
Yes, the sales cycle.
Yeah. So you'll be able to track that as well. So remember the CRM system where we track all their interactions. So for example, when they first found out about your website, they click through a social media link, and then from there we're able to track how many days does it take before the deal is closed. So that's possible. Yes. Why is that important to you?
Yeah, I mean, how much time am I spending on one person?
Yeah.
You know, in closing, and why some are closing early and why some are taking time. So,
Yeah.
you know, so that also will help me understand as the productivity of each person as well. Is he handling only difficult customers who are taking longer time, or there is a style difference?
Yeah, fair enough. So in my context, right, why I think that is important, right, is because I can calculate the total client acquisition cost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So just to summarize what you just said, right? So that's really important for leaders and owners like you guys to calculate that. To allocate the necessary resources on it, right? So I'm going to move on to the next step, which is the context step. So this is where you store all your contacts, right? And you'll be able to customize each of these headers. So what I like to do, right, for me as a salesperson, I like to check the recent conversion, right? So this ties back to the marketing function when they push out the collaterals, when they push out a call to action, what has converted that client? What has prompted them to come to the website? So I want to know that. I want to know when is that and what are the trigger events, right? So this is very cool for salespeople to prioritize their leads, all right? Because I mean, salespeople only have this much time a day, right? So for them to prioritize is super important. Obviously, you're able to filter using different properties and it's customizable. This is just through my lens, right? For a lot of hybrid role, right? So I do a bit of hybrid as well. So for you that is managing clients, right? Especially in agencies, how I like to do this, or how I like to leverage on our CRM is to create different companies, and then within the companies I have the contact name, I have the contact email address on it, just so that it's easy for me to follow up. I no longer need to go back to my email inbox if let's say you are using Microsoft Outlook, if you are using Gmail, to go back to see what has been communicated with the client. So everything is stored on one place, right? And then you are able to store different clients' entry over there. And what's so good about this is you are able to set up different tiers for your clients. So for example, client A spend more money with you. So naturally you will tier them as tier A, as compared to clients who are spending lesser with you, right? So you're able to filter that and have a clear view on who are the clients who are spending $50,000 with you versus $30,000 with you, and prioritize and call and follow up with them. Right. I was going to ask any questions, but I'm just going to move on to the next one. So companies, right? So this is again another view. So what I like about this view is I'm able to segregate or categorize company by their annual revenue, for example, right? Which you can't do with contacts, let's say, right? So I like to generally target at clients that is more than 250 million revenue, for example. And then your sales rep can just go on to it, right? From an account servicing point of view, what you're able to do is you're able to set up different categories. So those hybrid roles that just raised your hand just now, what kind of criteria would you like to put in to filter? Just brainstorming here, testing of a good filter, a good category. Dan, maybe?
I would normally actually go with revenue, yeah, because we can only work with certain clients that are above a certain revenue point. Number of employees is another good one.
Yep.
Because if you have, I mean, you can't be really a one-man marching band and afford our services. So, yeah, those two on the company side at least. On the contact side, there's a lot more.
Yeah, quite a few, right?
Yeah.
Clement, any input?
I'm still not quite sure, but I think revenue would be higher than this.
Right. Right. Okay, cool. Indra, any final thoughts? No? No. Cool. You happy? Cool. Yeah, so for the deal stages, right, it's quite easy for you to maneuver around this. It's just drag and drop, right? Yeah, so sometimes a few of my clients actually, so for smaller agencies or companies, they like to put in personal expenses as well. So you see family birthday party over here. Yeah, so to forecast the expenses, stuff like that. So it's quite simple to use in that sense. Yeah, and all these categories like buyer's journey, right? You are able to customize it yourself. So in HubSpot, how we do it is, like we run a discovery call with you, we confirm the value, we reach out to the decision maker and make sure that they confirm the value before we get approval, before we deliver the service, before we sell them.
Aaron, maybe just to backtrack back to the company section, besides revenue, employee size, do you have any features in your public data records that classify the companies by the industry?
Okay. So yeah, so you're able to do that by tagging it. So again,
There's a self-tagging system.
self-tagging system.
Okay.
So again, so people need to be quite disciplined, right? Because we don't have that AI system that detect that company is from that industry, right?
Okay.
But that's definitely in the funnel, right? But very good question.
But I mean, there's no reason you can't set that up in your forms from the marketing side. So you'd say, all right, we'll just set up a form that collects that industry data, and then you can
Correct.
segment by that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Can I ask you
Yeah.
about deals? So I worked with this before. So what do you do if someone is stuck in a stage? So I had them in the initial stage and they didn't answer the email and they were stuck there for weeks and I didn't know what to do. So I clicked on lost. But maybe you can reach out to them again. So this is one question. I have another one.
Yeah. So what I normally do, right, is I'll close loss it and put them into a different bucket where I'll remember to follow up with them in the next 3 months, for example. So that's something that you're able to create through our task function, right? Where you're able to list down a list of companies where you like to follow up in the next 3 months. I'll just show you in the beginning of it. Yeah.
And then what would be interesting just mention, like what questions do we ask them, what confirm value and stuff like that. It's sometimes not clear.
Yeah. Yeah, so generally, right, salespeople follow, like, I'm sure you guys have heard of BANT, right? Budget, authority, needs, timeline, right? Besides that, I mean, obviously, ABC that always been closing has been the methodology behind the sales team, right? But now what we are changing towards is always be helping, right? So we have developed another matrices, which is GPCT, right? Which is you understand the client's goal, for example, G. You understand what's their plan to achieve that goal, right? You understand what are their key challenges. How can you help them achieve that goal with these key challenges in their way? And the timeline is just timeline, right? So that would be a more consultative approach as opposed to just bench, right? So again, different stages, again, it depends on what you're selling. So for example, like HubSpot, selling a software, right? We're going to do a connect call, right? So before we do that connect call, we are going to qualify them in terms of industry, in terms of annual revenue, in terms of employee size, and understand if the owner is open to inbound marketing. I've heard of inbound marketing, all right? And then if everything tick the boxes, we'll move to the next stage, right? Where we explore more on BANT and GPCT, right? And then after you've confirmed all this, all right, the next stage would be understanding about what's their decision-making process, right? What's the thought process? Who do you need to speak to? How long do you need to take, for example, right? And then after you have classified all this, that's when we move on to scoping proposal, acceptance, and then close one, for example, right? Does it answer your question? Cool. All right, so I'll try not to oversell this, but this is quite a cool feature. So this is called Call Queue. Has anyone tried calling from our CRM to their prospect? Good man, good man.
Didn't work.
So it's very easy to use. So CRM is no longer just a centralized storage for you to store data, right? It actually talks back to you, right? Where you're able to do something about your prospect. You're able to call them, right? So what you're able to do is you're able to import those lists, like what Feng had just asked just now. How do you follow up in those leads that basically just lost touch, right? So you're able to do this like in 3 months' time, import all these lists into this interface, right? And then start calling them. Don't waste too much time, right? And then start queuing them up and just call them, right? So how this looks like, right? It's like this. So you'll be able to start calling them like that, and then if I say, hey, this prospect didn't answer, just move on to the next one, and you'll jump to the new prospect interface and then start calling it. So that saves you a lot of time, right, in digging out data and calling as well. Are you guys impressed with it? Okay. So yeah, so this is how I plan out my day basically. Alright, something that I'd like to show you guys. Okay, so just now, right, I've been focusing on the CRM features, right? The dashboard, alright, reporting add-on, the companies, the deals, the task I'm going to touch on it in a sec. And then now is the sales tools, right? So this is where sales pros come into place, right? So I'm going to focus on, okay, so notification is basically a notification plugin where you know who has clicked on your email, who has clicked on a link within your email, who has opened it, who has not read it, for example. So that's very simple. And then I'm going to jump on to documents, right? So documents is where you attach a link within an email and you're able to track them. All right, so if let's say you guys send a proposal, you want to know how much time does a prospect spend on reading the proposal. And if let's say they just read for like 5 seconds, you know they're bullshitting you, right? They're not serious, right? So this is something that you're able to track from our system by incorporating that link onto the email. And you're able to store all these documents and proposals that you have into our database and just tick the box and incorporate into the email and send it across. Has anyone used this? It's the same man. Good.
And we have a lady as well there.
Sorry, very much. Good lady. Cool. So over here you'll be able to see the median visit time, the document stored, alright? Okay, so before I move on to sequence and templates, any question on document just now? No? It's quite easy to
Does
understand
it
now.
track how far along the document they complete? Or is it more of a duration kind of thing?
Duration.
Duration,
Duration.
not completion.
Are you gonna get a notification every time they open it as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can get that. Cool. So this is my real Gmail account, right? So how I drop out an email, and this is incorporated with our Sales Pro tool. Sorry, I meant to show you guys. So you see the sequence button over here, right? So this is what I meant by sequence. I'm going to explain to you guys in a bit. What is sequence? So sequence is basically a series of emails that you have templated and save it on our database so that allows you to send email to your prospect automatically in a series. So it can come with a 5 email series, it can come with 3 emails. So depending on their interaction with you. If let's say they don't respond after 3 emails, the 4th email will be sent. If let's say they have responded straight away on their first email, then the 2nd email will be hold, and then you are able to follow up with them. So the main rationale, the main focus for you to set up a sequence is just so that you don't waste time on high-hanging fruits, right? If let's say someone comes to your website for the first time, they don't want to spend too much time talking to them just yet. They need some educational information. So that's where you set up sequences and send it across to them. And when they respond, that's when they are interested, right? Yeah. And then you follow up with a sales rep, or you send them another email to schedule a call, for example. Okay. So this is how sequence looks like. So you see an email will be sent on the 4th of April, 12 a.m., and this is the template. And then the 2nd email will be sent in 2 weeks' time if let's say that person doesn't respond, and then subsequently down. Yeah, so forth. And the way we see over here, this is the document link that I've embedded. So that allows you to track as well, right? And then what you are able to do as well is using this link over here for allow prospect to schedule a meeting with you. So you no longer need to try to schedule meeting back and forth through calls, through emails, right? They're able to just set up a meeting with you through your calendar, right? So this is how it looks like. Where you can choose a 30-minute slot, 15-minute slot with you, and then set up a meeting. This is very relevant to account services side of things as well as the marketing people, right? If let's say your boss wants to speak to you, right? Send them this stuff and link, and then get them to set up a time with you, right? Yeah. Cool. Any questions?
So once somebody schedules a meeting, let's say this is in the 3rd email, the 4th email would not trigger, right? You say that?
Say it again.
So if you're in the 3rd email, or okay, actually the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, whatever, there's a call to action to schedule a meeting. Will there be like a goal triggering to ensure that the next email, automated email isn't sent so you don't sound stupid?
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. So once, yeah. They are quite smart.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. More questions? Cool. So I'm going to step aside. I'm going to let Lena take the stage. So she's our UX specialist in HubSpot. So she's going to share a bit of what she has been working on UX. Yeah, I'll pass it on to you. No, actually, sorry. I still got 5 minutes. I need to show you guys something. Give me a sec. Okay, so because we have a mix of people, right, in this room, what I'm going to, so for sales-free users in the room, you guys basically get all of the CRM functions, right? And on top of that, you get to utilize on our notifications, the templates tool, the documents, and prospects tool. Okay? And then for the Sales Pro users in this room, you guys basically get to set up sequences, set up the mailing links that I showed you. Just ignore messages, it's on beta.
When is it released?
What do you know about the message?
I just know that it's like Intercom, right? The other tool that's out available.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm waiting for it to be released. So.
Really?
Yeah.
You jump right on it?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, so the timeline is, do you have timeline?
Spring.
No pressure.
Spring.
Spring. This is spring.
It's already spring.
Spring is sufficiently ambiguous.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, so this is just a quick breakdown, right, of what I presented, right, in terms of packages. So the sales free, you get all the objects that Sri just said on the CRM, with limited templates saved, limited track documents, and limited cost. I'll tell you how limited they are. The Sales Pro, you're able to create a lot of templates, a lot of documents, a lot of calls, a lot of sequences, right? For the reporting add-on, the sales dashboards that I just shown you on the first slide, these are the things that you're able to do: the deal forecast, the productivity, the engagement report, custom report, marketing report. So these are all in sync with the marketing subscription that you guys use. Cool. Okay, so this is how limited it is. So you are only able to receive 200 email notifications. You're able to set up 5 templates, 5 documents, and 15 minutes of calling. It's basically unlimited. Yeah, I mean, I use this, so it's more than enough. Cool.